Truth is, almost everyone uses headphones, but the other truth is not all headphones are made for everyone. Introducing JLab, headphones as versatile as you are. JLab's diverse collection of headphones has something for everyone in every moment. For travel, you can use Epic Lux ANC over-ear headphones. For the smallest fit ever, check out the JBuds Mini. JLab has so many versions of headphones for all the different versions of, well, you. Look for the blue box at retailers everywhere or shop jlab.com and use code ELIZA for 15% off your order today.
Lemonada.
This is a special mom-themed mother-in-law mom episode.
And I just want you guys to know that I made Emily say that because we went through the whole episode and I realized that she had curated this and didn't let us know up top. So you're clicking on this, get ready for a big load of mom.
The Motherlode.
Ew.
Ask me, ask Eliza anything. It's time to ask. Ask me all your questions. Leave them in the Instagram comment section. Leave them on your Twitter or leave them on your Facebook. We'll see them, we'll read them, then we'll give you answers. You know it, I've got it. I've got the answer, the answer. You ask me, I'll tell you anything.
You never thought we left, but we're back because I'm fully actually back. This is not batch recorded for the future. Back from, I almost said New Orleans, New Zealand and Australia. The shows were phenomenal. And fun fact, I now fully understand why moms drink white wine.
Why?
Because it's light. You can have it for a while and it is a nice buzz. I had basically stopped drinking. Like since Ethan was born, like I was like, alcohol just doesn't agree with me. And every time I would try, it was just so hard the next day. And in Australia, I think I drank 3 or 4 glasses of wine every night.
Mm-hmm.
And every morning I woke up, I went to Pilates, never a hangover, totally fine. And I was like, I get it now. And of course, because it's something that women enjoy, it gets a bad rap. Think about anything women enjoy becomes a stereotype, becomes something the internet makes fun of because the internet is young and they don't understand aging yet. That's why people make fun of like the exercise classes that middle-aged women take, where it's like, let's just hit these balls with sticks, like not realizing that even moving your body as you get older is a triumph, right?
Yeah.
Anything that moms do is always to be made fun of because it's all like 20-year-old people being like, this is so fucking chuggy and gross. I get the white wine thing. I had the best time. Was I offered drugs? Yes. Did I do them? No. And then we got back and I was like, we're having our date night. And I was like, let me recreate this magic and have a bunch of wine. And it was the worst night of my life.
No.
I had like diarrhea the next day. So I think it's all in your head.
How did the people of Oceania react to your accents?
Oh, very global of you. I love it. I do a great Australian accent. I fucking nail it.
Okay, and they like
the
that?
Kiwi ones, you know, when I was in New Zealand, I didn't hear a ton of Kiwis speak. I was only there for like a day.
Mm-hmm.
It's a harder one. It's harder. We're done. We're done doing it.
You're done. Do you have nothing else to talk about with Australia? Last episode, you were like, when I get back, I'll recap how great it is.
I owe Brisbane an apology. It's a city that I played once. And then I was always like, you know what? Let's just do Melbourne and Sydney and get the fuck out of there. And we went back. We had 2 incredible shows. And I take it all back, Brisbane. I misjudged. It's a beautiful city, a little bit like Pittsburgh, a lot of bridges, very green, very spread out. Really enjoyed it. Took an incredible Pilates class. Shout out to Vic Pilates in Brisbane, courtesy of Reform Pilates in Hollywood, Florida. They DM'd me to give me the rec. All the way across the world. And it was great. Shout out to them. And what can I say? It's a lovely country, New Zealand. Everybody's friendly. And I have the best time, and I always do. And I went back this time with a Red Hot update because we lived there for the month making that travel show. And then it's always that pressure. Like after you have a trip, but you've been home a week, now you've got to like recap the magic.
Mm-hmm.
It was all great. And it was really nice to come back to New Zealand after having lived there. And I was moved to buy some art, not just like trinkets. So I went to like a Maori artist store. And then I bought like a little carving made of resin, which to be honest, looks like plastic. And all of them lined up together look super cool. But when you just buy one, like when you just buy one Stanley or one pair of Crocs and you take it out of its like ombre rainbow, And I come home and I got this little carving of a little chief. And I'm like, what am I going to do with this? So it's on the bookshelf.
That's what a bookshelf
I
is
asked
for.
I wrote down what I bought, and I don't know where that went. So, because your hope is that somebody picks up something in your home. They're like, "Where's this from?" You're like, "Oh, it was from my time among the people." You're like, I just got it. I don't know.
I really, unless you have like a tribal mask on your wall, nobody's asking.
Nobody's asking about my 3-inch carving.
Where's your art from? Where are
Was
these
this traditional
felt
resin?
flowers from? No. Everybody's like, I don't know. She has money and taste. It's probably from a store I don't know about in America.
She has money. That's about all we can say. We have some money. Actually, I don't know. Who knows anymore?
Really?
The trip was great. Coming home was great. There was a female rugby team on the plane. That was cool. Sitting first class, you know they do well. And I thought I nailed it. We came home. I took a nap because I couldn't help myself. And then I took an Ambien and I was like, great, I'm set. And it's just been real rough. But I think tonight I'll get my sleep pattern back. I think as you get older, it's just harder to adjust. Or you're just perpetually tired because you're still sleep hungover from a trip across the world that you took 3 years ago.
It's exhausting. I couldn't do your job, but simply because I wouldn't want to go so many places.
It was so much hydration. I felt like an influencer. I brought like a face mask. I brushed my teeth. Like I brushed and flossed before I got to the airport. I skipped dinner in the airport and on the plane. I did a face mask. I do a whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
A whole inhaler.
Well, you made it back.
I did. We're back. Emily's yawning. And I'm really proud of the engagement on the Patreon with the questions and with the coffee. And we're back. And you're going to be listening to this the middle of next week. So if you are in the Southern California area and you want to come out to my Brunch of Moms, a new show I've created where, yes, I do stand up, but it's highly interactive, inspired by my last show in Tampa, where all the moms got on stage and showed off their mom dance moves. I got a bunch of companies to gift us things. So we're going to have giveaways and contests and prizes and Jell-O shots. And that's my brainchild. So come on out. It's going to be a raucous good time for moms, all parents included. Obviously, anyone can attend that they want. And it's going to be a lot of fun. And I think it's going to be great. I think moms deserve this. And it's noon. It's a brunch. I got the Improv to serve brunch food. You want Eggs Benedict in a nice strip mall? Come to the Brea Improv.
How do you get them to do that?
I said, this is a brunch.
Figure it out.
Menu. They made a beautiful brunch menu.
Oh.
Women love that stuff.
Oh,
yeah,
I love
and champagne.
brunch.
And then they said, do you want us to serve it in plastic glasses or glass? We'll buy them. And I was like, get glass. Everybody gets a glass of champagne. I don't know what kind of champagne. Just drink it. Jell-O shots.
Ask questions.
Giveaways from Groundwork. Mika, they make like dry shampoo and hairspray. Bliss signed on for this. Spindrift is going to give you a code for some sodas. So lots of stuff.
Did they, is this Saturday or Sunday was what I wanted to say.
Saturday.
Okay.
Sunday, you get to be a regular mom and endure that like lavender scented gift basket. But it's going to be Saturday at the Brea Improv. We're going to do it. It's going to be great.
Lily Files heard your, you were right. You were right that she was the one that told you about lavender and you were against it. And
I'll be honest, I thought about it for a while. For like the last 2 years, I'm like, I think I need to issue an apology. So I did it. I'm not doing it again.
No, never again. That's the first and only apology on this podcast.
My mom's note was that we kibitz too much up top and we got to get to it.
That's the opposite of the note from everyone else on the Patreon.
Okay, I've got a note.
Yeah.
Oh man, I want to do my bottom of the cup right now so badly.
I'm sorry.
I will tell you.
Yeah.
Well, this is related to it. Americans are drip coffee drinkers and the rest of the world doesn't do it like we do. Like we're the home of like the refill of diner coffee. Most of the world just drinks espresso or Americano or cappuccino. Americans do like a big mug of like drip coffee. Some places, of course, they do like a pour over. We're like, get a pot, drip it out. I want a lot of it. And I was always anti-espresso because I've always thought it was bitter. And I went to a coffee shop in Australia and they only had espresso. I was like, fine. And I just got it. And I Googled it. There's actually more caffeine in a cup of coffee than a shot of espresso. And the argument is because there's more coffee. So you would drink espresso to get that caffeine hit quickly. And I think I've always just had bad espresso. And so now I'll drink an espresso. I spent so much time not liking it. And I think I was just uninformed.
Wow. Thank you.
I don't know why I bother telling you anything.
I just didn't know a lot of these words. I'm not positive what drip coffee is. Just
it's what
coffee.
you drink. It's drip coffee out of it, like a coffee, like it drips.
Oh, it goes through and it goes. Okay. Well,
Yeah,
then
a
what's
pour
how's
over is when you
espresso
pour.
made?
Talking to you, pour over is where you pour the hot water over it, like you see in like Japanese coffee places, French, Blue Bottle, which is not Japanese, or like any nice coffee place where they're like timing it, fills.
So with the coffee you got in Australia, how is that made?
If they don't do it drip, it's usually just espresso, and they call it coffee, but it's espresso.
How's
poured into
espresso
something.
made is what I'm asking.
Espresso is made by using coffee beans, and I think a lot of people don't know this because I always thought espresso beans were different. And they're just roasted differently. And then it's espresso because you are forcing hot water through tightly packed grounds. So it comes out super thick. Whereas coffee, it just takes longer and it kind of just drips through.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, it's all a journey.
A journey. This is your journey.
It's my stupid coffee journey. I got to get a real hobby. But
It's good to have a hobby when you do a job that is not regular hours and you also have children. I think it's nice to have a hobby.
I keep forgetting I have kids. And honestly, I thought you were going to say, it's good to have a hobby when you have a jobby. My therapist said that. She was like, you also have an entire life in your house with 2 children.
And a husband
Like,
and other people that are there.
Yeah, it can't just be Tianfu.
Is that
Licking her
Tianfu?
bowl like a prisoner. She's like rattling her bowl against the cage. Forget. Yeah. All right.
You have a life. All right. We have a question I want to start with just because.
Hold on. You got to stop.
She really
There's
is.
no way it's that delicious. He put like tuna in her bowl or something. And she's like,
Oh, little pig baby.
Eat it on the carpet.
Right. Stop slamming it.
This episode of Ask Eliza Anything is brought to you by Booking.com. I love renting a vacation home when I go somewhere. It's cozy, it's more personal, and if there's one thing I know about Ask Eliza Anything listeners, it's that you guys like to travel and you guys are hustlers. So why not rent out your home, especially if you live somewhere that people want to visit? Listing your vacation rental on Booking.com opens the door to more guests. That's just the truth. Booking.com is one of the most downloaded travel apps in the world, and it makes it the place to list your vacation rentals if you want to earn more with consistent bookings, reach new markets, and turn hosting into a steady income. You have total control over your property's calendar and finances. It's hosting on your own terms because you guys are hustlers. The best part is, getting started is super easy. It takes less than 15 minutes. Plus, if you're already listed on another site, Booking.com makes it easy to import your property info and get you going right away. Head to Booking.com to see how you can get started today. The reach is global, the bookings are consistent, and the control is yours. For the bookings you've dreamed of, list your property on Booking.com.
Hey, Julia Louis-Dreyfus here. If you listen to me on my Wiser Than Me podcast, you probably already know that I'm an investor and an evangelist for the Mill Food Recycler. There are a lot of reasons to love Mill, but for me, it's all about the impact. Keeping food out of the garbage is one of the most powerful things we can do to help the planet every single day. We're talking banana peels, carrot tops, old takeout. When that stuff heads to the landfill, it becomes a huge driver of climate change. If you already compost, great. But of course, there's the smell, the flies, the running to the curb every day with a little leaking compost bag made of cornstarch. That's where Mill comes in. It makes keeping food out of the trash as easy as dropping it in. It can handle nearly anything, from a turkey carcass to like 20 avocado pits. It works automatically while you sleep. You can keep filling it for weeks, and it never, ever smells. Mill makes dry, nutrient-rich grounds that you can use in your garden, add to your compost, feed to your chickens, or Mill can get them back to a small farm for you. But you kind of have to live with Mill to really get it, and that's why they offer a risk-free trial. Go to mill.com/wiser for an exclusive offer.
Okay, we had that question about the book being borrowed and then in the realtor photos that really was like very fascinating. So we have another book question, and I just love the book vein of drama. Like I
thought it was about that one because she followed up and I was like, the mileage we've gotten out of this story.
No, I like this vein of drama we've hit upon. The subject is forced to read a book.
Oh, no.
I know. I was like, oh, dear AIA crew, I am a 55-year-old female. My husband, also 55, and I live about 1,500 miles from his mother and stepfather. The stepfather does little all day except watch Fox News and walk to the mailbox and deep dive into conspiracy theories. The mother, for the most part, goes along with whatever the stepfather does or says. She's rather old school in that way. I go along with her, but she's a lot to take sometimes. Recently, my mother-in-law has come up with the idea of moving closer to us, which for the most part is fine, as both my husband and I agree that as long as she isn't too close to our neighborhood, maybe 10 plus miles or so, or popping in on us all the time, that we'd be okay with it. Now, the problem. My mother-in-law has a bad habit of sending us cheap, trashy things that she finds cute or interesting on Amazon. Most of this goes in the trash where it belongs. We've asked her to stop as we don't need these things and she could use the money elsewhere. Her latest purchase was targeted for me. It's a book based on a conspiracy theory that JFK was killed by LBJ.
Himself?
LBJ.
Like he did it?
Yeah.
LBJ did it, I'm saying.
I guess LBJ walked up and shot him.
Okay. Emily, don't pronounce it LBJ. Like Spanish for
Lyndon
the blowjob.
B. Johnson.
LBJ. L is it's the letter L, not L.
Lyndon B. Johnson killed JFK. I would be much more interested if it said he shot him and not that he hired someone. So, okay. I really don't care one way or the other about this story, true or not. I like that our question asker also won't comment on if that's a valid theory. When she talks to my husband, she asks if I've read it. I told my husband just say no, but he wants to give her a reason. So for now, he told her I haven't had time.
I can't believe she's following up.
I know. I told him I really don't want to read it. He told me I should just read it and be done. But I really don't care to read it. It's a rather large book, and I'd rather spend my time reading something I would enjoy, not some book so I can give my mother-in-law a book report. I'm not in high school anymore. By the way, she isn't much of a reader herself, so I highly doubt
she didn't read it.
She read it, which makes me tempted to say, if you read it, I will, and then we could talk about it. So my question to you is, how do I get out of reading this conspiracy book? I feel cornered by everyone. Waste 6 to 8 hours reading a book I don't enjoy. Thank you for all your sage advice, Anonymous in the Midwest. I knew you were the Midwest.
Never, ever read this. This isn't like The Odyssey or like War and Peace or like 1984, where it's like, it's a fundamental part of like understanding literature. Not that I read War and Peace, but I read the other ones. It's actually a lie. I didn't read 1984. Because they gave you an option.
Animal Farm?
I did. I read Animal Farm.
Yeah.
So I can't look at the word snowball the same ever again. You don't have to read this. And I would think as a true mother, eventually she'll just forget that she sent this to you. But this is a twofer because you're asking, what do I do about the cheap crap? But you're really asking, okay, you're not really asking that. You're asking, what do I do about this book? And the answer is nothing. This is your husband's mom. He needs to be the go-between screen. And honestly, like she's pushing weirdly like a version of religion on you. And you can be like, I'm not interested in the topic.
Yeah.
And if she pushes you on it, you'd be like, did you read it? And then she'll lie and say yes. And you'd be like, great, you can tell me about it. I'm not interested in this like unverified hot take on who like ruined America's innocence.
Yeah, make your husband read it. Like, why is it being sent to you? I do
give it a week. Give it 2 weeks. She'll move on to something else.
I love to recommend things to people, but I hate taking anyone's suggestion.
By the way, I understand her. I'm so the person that reads the byline and then I like forward the whole article. Especially, I love it when it's like an Atlantic and it like looks like I read it. And I'm like, well, I got the gist. You don't, if it meant something to her, if this were like about like some issue going on now, like pollution, and she was like, look at this article and I'm advocating for this and here's an actionable item. But even if you did read it, you almost want to ask her, but you don't want to indulge her. Like, then what do I do with this quote unquote information?
Right. She wants you to join a chat board. Like, we don't need to relitigate
what do you want
JFK
to do with it?
Anymore. I don't care who killed him at this point. What does it matter?
But I'm not getting my information from like a self-published conspiracy theorist internet Amazon book.
Right. Right.
Like people who deeply, but like, look, I love a good conspiracy theory, but they all end because they all, like, you can like overturn them with like one question. Is that the idea that he wanted to be president so badly that he orchestrated the assassination of JFK?
I guess, yeah. But I again like the read that it wasn't that he orchestrated the assassination, that he himself was on the grassy knoll.
Is that because I think that's what she's saying? And also,
that would be an insane book. I would read that.
But moreover, it could be that JFK was assassinated by a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. It's if you indulge her in this, then she will see you as a receptacle for all of this garbage. And the tacit agreement with an older relative is, yeah, you send me articles. I never read them. You never check back because you don't remember sending them, or we're so many articles in the future now that you've already sent that you can't remember that you sent that. And there's too many things that have also filled that timeline. Like you've already sent 15 articles in the interim. Yeah. So on principle, even if it was something you wanted to read, you can't read it because then you will become someone that they feel that they can conspiracy theory with. And you just don't need that. But once again, there's always got to have like buckets on the show. This comes down to like, you need to let your husband run interference.
Yeah, it's not a mother-in-law problem. It is a husband problem. He's like, well, there you go. I want to give her an excuse. You know what you could say? You could tell her no one wants to read her book. And if she gets mad, that's on you to deal with emotionally. And like, or you read it if you're a good son. You say, she doesn't have time, but I would love to hear more. Not her, the husband.
But even like, why not read anything by anyone ever? Like, who wrote this? Like, why not read a pamphlet written by like a Hare Krishna on the corner? Why not read a Falun Dafa religious doctrine? Like, why not read just drivel from people?
I've kept a pamphlet for several years now from, I believe, Jehovah's Witnesses, because it's like a drawing of a woman who's just like, oh, it's just like, I wish I knew God.
I wish I knew.
So
why not read the entire bathroom wall? Why not just read Reddit out loud? Like, what are we doing? This is a massive problem in our country. And I am getting this from the Carl Sagan book I'm reading. And this was written in the 90s.
Yeah.
A total lack of understanding science, like being scientifically illiterate in this country. So people fill in conspiracy theories, just like we did with superstitions before we understood what medicine was. And so it's just like eating empty calories. And usually it is, I'm sorry, it's not about when women can't make their choices. Usually it is the husband who's super into something like super, I'm going to say right wing, because this goes beyond that, unsubstantiated views like that. And he's like, I'll bring my wife along. And then the wife's like, they aren't underground mole people who are secretly controlling the banks. So you tell her if you can make a super compelling argument about why you think this is real, why it pertains to anything, and why I should read it for my life, then I still won't read it.
Right. Like, okay, I got all the points. Now I don't have to read it. Thank you.
Yeah. There's too much going on TV, on the internet to be given an assignment. And that is why a lot of TV is, people don't watch TV for fun, save a few shows, because it does start to feel like homework. And everything is a conversation, which becomes content, which becomes an interview. And it's just this never ending sort of human centipede of media consumption.
I'm tired of all the media.
Except for this podcast, which is like its own little pure thing, not related to anything. It's just here if you're having a long drive to your nurse.
No one can spoil this podcast for you, which I think is the difference.
Because no one listens to it all the way through.
Can you imagine if they're on the board, they're on social media, like they answer this question. Everyone's like, oh, I haven't watched it yet. Now you've ruined it.
This is just our little world. And we've said it before, you're not here to get insight into the futuristic dance scene in Sinners because we're interviewing Ryan Coogler. Like, that'd be a cool podcast, but this is your break. This is your warm bath of a little friend gossip time. By the way, you have to see Sinners. Did you see Sinners?
I haven't yet. I know.
I saw it before you, and I will tell everybody listening to this, it is one of the best movies I've ever seen.
I'm so excited for the deal he struck. Like, it's like, finally, creatives are taking back their power.
We are taking it back. More on that later. Let's get to it.
We have another mother-in-law. I figure in honor of Mother's Day, we don't want to slam on moms, so we'll slam on mother-in-laws.
I love it.
Hey, crew, gonna jump right into it. My husband, 35, and myself, 37, have been together for 15 years and have lived away from my family for most of it. Our families are more or less great, but think my big fat Greek wedding, where everyone wants to be in everyone's business and has thoughts about everything. I was reading it thinking they had a lot of thoughts about my big fat Greek wedding, but that's what we should think
we talk
about their family.
We show it every day.
We've established our own routines and lifestyle because of this. We like our own togetherness and don't want to be involved with drama. few years ago, we had a kid. And as soon as we told everyone I was pregnant, my mother-in-law, 66, up and moved across the country to be in the same state as us. She tried the same town, but we said absolutely not. And she settled a couple cities over. Now, to be clear, my mother-in-law and I are very different and don't see eye to eye on a lot of things. We told her not to and that we'd only be in the state for a handful of years and eventually move elsewhere. She said that was fine and she just needed a change. Skip ahead to now. She tries to come over every weekend. We don't let her, and we are in serious talks about our next destination. And she says she wants to follow us wherever we go and that we can't stop her. We've sat her down in person, texted, and talked over the phone about how we do not want her to follow us for the rest of her life and needed our space to respect our boundaries. She doesn't care. What would you do in this situation? I'm petty enough to keep my kids away from her if she does follow, but at the same time, I'm not sure it's worth what's left of my energy, even though she is mentally exhausting. Thanks for all your wise wisdom, ladies, and wish you nothing but the best. Cheers.
This is tough for me to answer because I don't know what kind of annoying she is. I don't know if secretly you're like a little annoying and she's normal. Like I've seen people react to mother-in-laws who actually seem fine, but like the kid is weird. So I don't really know the dynamic, but let's say you're right and you're normal. I don't know why you guys are moving away so much and you want so much distance. I get that they're annoying, but it is a little weird that even with a child, you don't want to be near family. So that means your family is very difficult. So let's say all that's true. This woman wants to see her grandchild, which is like the heartbeat for most women who are grandmothers. You can't stop her from moving. But the fact that she feels the need to follow you is because she's not getting what she wants from you emotionally. So she's like, well, I'm just going to be there. And she kind of doesn't care that it's going to be painful for people. This is a conversation your husband has to lead. So it's not you. Is there a way to make it so that when you are together, she has her time with the kid and she can do whatever? Like if she weren't so on top of you, would it be more tolerable if it was like, and every 3 weeks she comes over? Does she have a job? Does she have a husband? How is this woman able to just follow you?
She needs activities, and you need to. Do you remember in Clueless when on the side to get better?
Miss Geis.
Yeah, that they're like, we're going to make her, we're going to set her up so she's not a pain in our ass anymore. Or
I don't think Miss Geis was a pain in their
no,
ass.
she was good. It was the guy.
I think they were just ugly, and they were like, I bet they could go together.
But also they wanted the guy to be in a better mood, the principal or whoever. There was a man they wanted to be in a better mood.
I'm going to bang the gavel on this one. We need more context. There's too many things you don't ever hear. Like, and she'll just move with us. And we warned her we're going to be moving a lot. You know, is there something?
A life.
Is there something to be said for staying in one place and you really don't want your family around this kid?
I just don't want him over every weekend, probably.
Is it that she doesn't help? Because it'd be like my mother-in-law comes over and she's helpful. So I'm like, come on over, like do it all. Is she a burden on you? And if so, would it be okay if she was like, I'm going to come over and I'm going to watch the kid. Why don't you guys go do something? I'm going to help clean up this kitchen, or I'm going to just be with the child, or I brought them a raincoat or something that you like. Is she's not helping. So it feels like another kid. If it were a more palatable experience, would you be okay with it? I'm trying to get to the root of what she does that's so awful. And I understand in everyone's business, whatever, but,
can you drop kids off at her house? Like I just used to get dropped off at my grandma's house.
Yeah, we're starting to do that now. Is there a way to involve her enough that when you're with her, she doesn't feel so desperate for more?
I just think this is a woman that's always going to want more because she's not satisfied in her own life. But yes,
is she the kind of woman who like, even though she gets it, she always wants more? Yeah, and it's kind of annoying. Is it like no matter what we do, it's not good enough? Like what kind of drama is this woman creating? I need to know more.
I wanted all the drama.
I need to see pictures. I need to know what kind of money she has because it seems like a lot, in which case,
she can follow you, right?
Get that cash. All
right. MIL question OFC. Mother-in-law question, of fucking course. Hi, AIA crew. Oh. First time mom, master's degree.
You know every abbreviation.
I know a lot of them. I'm very active online.
I know.
Master's degree, of course. Huge fan of your work. Want to start by saying I went to your show in Louisville, 8 months pregnant, and gave birth a week later.
You're welcome.
Yeah. All that laughter shook the baby out. Anyways, my husband and I have been together for 5 years and have a 5-month-old together. Wow, so many fives. He quit his lucrative job to take care of their family business, where his mom is a passive shareholder after his dad passed away. his mom and dad had a horrible relationship, and his mom doesn't really have anyone other than my husband. They go on work trips together, and she sends me photos. I don't know if it's my ego, but it gives me the weirdest feeling inside, like I am the third wheel and the second person after her in his life. This is not how marriage is supposed to be. Yes, you already guessed, as cliche as it is, I do not like her. She's exactly the type of person who likes to make sure that her daughter-in-law knows she is in second place. What do I do? Do I talk to my husband? They have 2 more trips coming up, and then what? Please send help and your sage advice. Love, your Azerbaijani fan.
Oh.
Yeah. Shout out.
Anything about that culture.
No, so shout out one Azerbaijani fan.
Thank you.
Look at us
Get
go.
your friends. Get your friends and I'll come to a show there.
How many friends do they need to get for that?
I just need like 6. I just need 10 for a minion. So this woman has some money and the husband is dead. Divorced, dead.
Yeah.
And her son, I mean, I think I classify Azerbaijan as like Central Asia, like far Eastern Europe, that sort of like Kazakhstan, like that area. And so I feel like the moms are like hyper protective over their sons. And she definitely sees you as a threat. She sees you as taking her place. You guys don't like each other. And rather than the son bringing you together, obviously you are his priority because you're his wife. The husband is doing something that is not making you feel like a priority. And they're taking trips for work. Is that right?
So it's for the company that the dead dad owned.
Right. I think it's fine that they take these trips. You're saying when you already don't care, even if you loved her, you kind of don't care about the picture. If it were your child, you'd be like, oh my God, great. But there is something about 2 adults having an experience without you that you're just like, send these to somebody who cares.
Right.
You never want to see it. I can think of people in my life that'll be like, we're eating pizza at this place in San Francisco. And Noah's just like, great. Like, I have made pizza. Like, it's like being like clean plate club. And you're like, you're a fucking adult. I do wonder, she's doing it to be like, look, he's with me. We're having fun. And I don't know that she's doing it from a bad place, but generationally, like that is like an annoying thing. And I don't think she's like hyper aware of it. Your husband is not making you feel like a priority. The issue is with your husband. Because if your husband was doting on you, showering you with attention, I'm sorry, you said you had a 5-month-old?
But yeah.
That's what it is. You are running yourself ragged, taking care of this little 5-year-old. I guarantee you don't feel sexy. I guarantee you guys don't have the intimate time that you used to have. And he's running off to go have a luxury Azerbaijani vacation, Azerbaijani vacation with his mom. And the mom is not there to help you with that baby. You're like, what the fuck? Now you're the girlfriend and you guys are doing this fun stuff. Now this mom has lived her life. She raised her son. She's entitled to enjoy all these things. Mm-hmm. It's your husband that you have the issue with.
Yeah, but I am just imagining the mom. Every picture is like when someone's like with a boy toy and she's just like, me and your husband on the beach.
Here's what you can do to shut it all down.
A lobster platter.
Text your husband and be like, great, have fun fucking each other. And then turn your phone off for a week.
A week? No.
What it is you're stuck raising a 5-month-old baby, and that is difficult. That's a baby who is sleeping at weird hours, needs your attention constantly, even though they're sleeping a lot, and you're not feeling cherished. When's the last time he sent you flowers? When's the last time he carved out time for a date night?
Took you on a trip.
You feel like you are doing this all alone because this is a difficult time, and your body is like still a little weird, and so is your brain, and it's going to be for a while. When's the last time he took you on that trip? When's the last time... I'm sure you're like breastfeeding this baby or something. So you probably don't want to like leave the baby. He is not making you feel like a priority and she's getting to do all the fun things. Mm-hmm. You need to talk to that man. Mm-hmm. Also, let's say everything's great. By the way, I'm just going to put this out there.
Yeah.
Because as I get older, even though I don't believe in the path of least resistance, because the struggle makes us stronger, there have been times where someone has sent me something, anything, and I'm like annoyed, not at them. I'm like, I don't care about this text. I don't care about this. But going out of your way to sprinkle a little Texas on it and add a little sunshine with your response, that's so fun. I hope you guys are having a great time. Oh my God, looks delicious. Like if you met it with like support.
Yeah.
I wonder if, even if it doesn't change what she's sending, if it might start to color the way that you receive.
Yeah, like when you're supposed to smile.
Like if you read people's text messages, it's like, great, I'll be there. But you could also read it as like, great, I'll be there.
Yeah.
And it is an exercise. And so if you decide that you don't care, like let her be with her son, you're going to have him the rest of his life. And you're just like, I hope you guys are having so much fun. 8 emojis, looks delicious. Now, you don't want her texting you all the time because that's exhausting. But like, I just wonder for your own mental health, if it's worth being like, have the best time, eat some pizza for me or whatever it is.
I wonder if it's also changed a little bit how you view your husband, because you say that he was making good money in his own career and then the dad passed and the mom takes in a passive income and now he's taking over that business and it's like not the business he built if you've lost a little respect. Like now he's just like, what is it called? Escorting his mom all over town instead of like building his work.
What he needs to be doing, she might be holding it over his head a little bit, like, come with me, I will pay for it. I don't know why she sounds Persian. It's the closest I can get. But you need to get with your husband and be like, how are you building up this business? And how are you getting ready to take over? And how are you getting out of your mom's pocket? Because that's what this is. She's bankrolling it.
Yeah.
She's leaving you out. This is a husband issue. Next!
Confessions. All right. We got one that just really.
What's the capital of Azerbaijan?
I don't know. Hi, AI.
Wait, hold on. We got to hold on.
You got to find out.
I got to know. Okay. Here it is. Azerbaijan, former Soviet Republic, bounded by the Caspian Sea and the Caucasus Mountains, which, as we know, is where all the white people come from, which span Asia and Europe. I got to get a.
What's the capital?
It's neither Russian nor entirely Turkish. It's a Turkic-speaking country with its own distinct language and culture. Obviously, we all have access to Google. It's right there. It's right there. For those of you.
What's the capital?
They don't have one.
What?
They don't have one. No, they do. Baku? It's right next to Armenia. You know what? I wasn't totally off. It's super Middle Eastern, but it's getting to the east. But it's definitely, it's near Turkmenistan, Georgia, Iran is a friendly neighbor. That's always intimidating.
Confession time. Hi, AIA crew. I have a confession. My husband and I are currently in the midst of potty training our 2-year-old daughter. He took her into GameStop recently to look at nerd stuff. While he was checking out the Pokemon cards, she was walking down an aisle looking at plushies. My husband had a clear view of her, but the employee couldn't see her as she was behind a shelf. They were the only 2 customers in the store. My husband noticed our 2-year-old squat down and say, "Pee-pee," loudly. The employee smiled and said, "Oh, she knows who Pikachu is." She was directly in front of the Pikachu plushies. My husband tried to quickly walk over and take her to the bathroom, but it was too late. He could see a dark spot forming on the carpet under her feet. Freaking out at this point, my husband plays along with the employee, scoops her up, and gets the hell out of there without saying a word about what actually happened. Later, when I asked why he didn't offer to clean it up, he said he panicked and was so mortified he just ran. Now, Eliza, I will say about myself, and if you feel comfortable answering, I would also run. I don't think I'd be big enough to offer to help. I'd leave. I can't say I'd be that.
Yeah, you can't. It's too weird. What your hope would be is like, oh my God, my kid, can I help? And the person's like, oh my God, okay, sure. So sorry, thank you. First of all, that child's urine is definitely not the grossest fluid in a GameStop. Second of all, and Emily can tell you as a former, not only manager, but customer of a GameStop, there are going to be things, it's like sometimes you fart and it's really sick and gross. You're like, I just got to leave. There's nothing you could have done. Like to sit there and then you're like, do you have any? And they're like, sorry, we don't have a bathroom. And then you're like, okay, let me go get. Baby pee also is like mostly water. Like, I don't know. I think everybody would be like,
I think only like a saint is
no
like,
one's ever going to notice
let me go to the store next door and get some cleaning supply. It just isn't going to.
It'd be different if it was like a slick surface and you could see it and people was heavy traffic. It's carpet. It's in the corner. Nobody's even going to. Yeah, that's, you know what? I always forget confessions aren't for us to weigh in. Should it be like when you go to confessional and they're like 4 Hail Marys?
What are you going to tell them to do? A kick it?
How about that? How about for your penance, it's 2 kick-its and a that's it. And 2 kick-its, 2 that's it's, and a 1 I wanted all the drama.
I wanted all the drama. Okay, and we do bodily fluids, but we also do not bodily fluids. So we're doing another confession.
We do specialize
in both. We don't want to deprive people clearly what they want to get off their chest, which is things coming out of every hole. But we got to mix it up. So,
yeah. Not the stuff coming out.
Oh,
we want to mix up the topics.
Oh.
Slam it.
I love your podcast. I listen every Wednesday and have been with you since the beginning. I got the pleasure of seeing you in Buffalo. Amazing.
That was recently. The butter lamb capital of the world.
My confession.
They make a big butter lamb and then
They
they burn
burn
it in
it
town square.
Ew. Oh.
They don't. No, they just make a butter lamb. I bought I bought Sierra a t-shirt that says Buffalo.
Is there a butter lamb on the shirt? No,
Actual.
Sierra, that's so cute though.
I'm just going to lose a little
Put
bit
on
of
a
weight and then look
toddler
up summer.
shirt.
Here I am. Here I am.
My confession is I, 35, female, married with 2 children, had an affair with a married woman, 30, I work with. We started this affair almost 2 years ago and are now living together. It was initially pretty messy. Her husband turned out to be a real weirdo, stalking and harassing her for months. I am divorcing my ex-wife and she is divorcing her ex-husband. The kids are adjusting well, and honestly, they're happier now that their parents aren't in a loveless marriage. I have no regrets. I would do it again and again if I ended up with her in the end. I have never felt more myself
Don't do it
and
again.
more loved in my life. Anonymous. This is a real confession.
Is it?
Yes. She
The
had an
confession
affair.
is,
yeah.
I
Well,
cheated.
she got caught.
Yeah.
but-
And then you're like, it's not a confession if it turns out awesome and you feel awesome. A confession is, I got a little bit of guilt and you're like, fuck it.
They're just divorcing now and they were together for 2 years. So she was being very shady. But
I mean, look, I can't really judge. Heart wants what it wants. Of course, it's always better to get a divorce first, but if you're in a loveless marriage, whatever. You know what?
yeah.
I'm glad it worked out.
Can I say I was a little disappointed that this person who had the affair is
Was
married to a woman.
Me too. That's what I was thinking.
It's such a
You don't hear that a lot. It's usually like we both left the men. It's not like, and I left this other Les and went and run into this one.
All right, it's such a more scandalous story if you were married to a man and hooking up with this woman on the side. Like, oh, you left your wife? You're just like a regular cheater. Ugh.
Is there part of everyone who's on like a queer spectrum whenever like a straight man gets hurt? Is there part of you that's just like, yes?
Right, we're like,
So I don't feel that way. I don't feel that way, but it is just a little bit more scandalous because you're bucking tradition.
yes, right. So it's not that I'm like, I want a man to get hurt, not a woman, but it's like, it's just more interesting if not only are you cheating, but you were
Yes.
like, wait, and also I
Crossing double lines versus like, I just went from, because and equally, not even convexly, it wouldn't be as interesting if you left one man for another. You'd be
Exactly.
like, okay, well, that's
Right.
cool.
I'm like, oh, I was sleeping with a man at my work. All right, great.
Okay, so for this confession, you just get one kick it because we were both disappointed that you didn't leave your husband.
So leave your wife for a man and try again.
One kick it and a baby Coke. I don't know. I'm just trying to think of things
Things we've said. That's what I just say. I just come into the episode and I'm like, baby Coke, baby Coke, baby Coke.
Baby Coke.
So here's something I was thinking about recently, right? We all wear headphones, but for the most part, people tend to use one of 2 kinds. Either the big cans that go over your head and they make your ears sweaty, or the brand that rhymes with Rare Bods, right? The truth is, we deserve headphones as versatile as we are. Meet JLab. Their headphones come in so many different colors, and they have different headphones for every type of activity you might be doing, because headphones aren't one size fits all. For travel, you could do the Epic Lux ANC over-ear headphones, super comfortable and sleek looking with the longest active noise canceling playtime at 60 plus hours, right? That's enough for a connecting flight and then some. For walks or working out or physical activity, there's Epic Sport ANC 3. These are a secure fit. They're not going to go popping out when you're jumping around, and a long battery life. That's 68 hours plus. Hopefully you're not working out that long. And for those of you with tiny ears, for the smallest fit ever, check out J-Buds Mini. They fit on your keychain and they're smaller than a coin. JLab has so many versions of headphones for all the different versions of, well, you. Look for the blue box at retailers everywhere or shop jlab.com and use code ELIZA for 15% off your order today.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp.
When I think of the term mental health, I think it's a term that gets misused. I think it's a term that's overused. And I think of it as something that gets sputtered out by the internet, like, oh, I need these fries for my mental health. And somehow in our society, we've come to associate mental health with weakness or someone who needs help with weakness. And that could not be further from the truth. If you had a broken bone, you go see a doctor. So if you're having trouble or want to feel better, why wouldn't you talk to a therapist? BetterHelp has over 10 years of experience matching people with the right therapist from their diverse network of more than 30,000 licensed therapists with a wide range of specialties. BetterHelp is fully online, making therapy affordable and convenient, serving over 5 million people worldwide. And like I always tell you, you can easily switch therapists at any time, no extra cost, no weirdness, no driving across town. We're all better with help. Visit betterhelp.com/Eliza to get 10% off your first month. That's betterhelp, HELP.com/Eliza.
All right. We'll answer questions. I'm scrolling. Hold on. Patreon's hard to scroll. Now we're going to do real moms. How to deal with my mother, 67. Background. My mom, not that mother-in-laws aren't real moms. Just going back.
They're moms to
They're
someone.
moms to someone, but not our question askers. All right. My mom and I have a challenging relationship and have my whole life. She is incredibly self-centered and has no problem belittling others. She's a pro at gaslighting. I've gone through lots of therapy and have made my peace with this is how she is. You can't necessarily change her, but you can change how you interact with her to keep your own peace. I have an older brother. I adore him, even if he's a bit of an idiot. He is the perfect first child in most ways to my mother, whereas I am the screw up. Neither of us are perfect. We have a great sibling relationship, and my brother has also commented on and tried to sometimes point out to our mom how unfair she can be in the treatment of us, even now in our 30s. My parents live, Eliza, you need to do a mental map. My parents live in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
My brother is in Vermont. My husband,
north.
son, 3, and I live in Michigan.
Okay,
my mother-in-law,
country.
My mother-in-law,
Not Azerbaijan, but we'll take it.
My mother-in-law lives in Wisconsin.
Jesus, you guys. Okay, so a little bit farther east. I'm sorry, west. A little bit farther west. Yes.
Obviously, no one is super geographically close, which my husband and I knew before we decided to have a kid. But my parents are incredibly blasé about my son. Granted, my mother-in-law is a literal angel and really helped us through the first year postpartum, as she was the only grandparent retired at the time and was able to help. My son was born with a rare blood disorder that he thankfully grew out of. But when he was born, he didn't have enough platelets. So if he got a paper cut, he could theoretically bleed out. He was also in NICU as he decided breathing was overrated at first. I was having tears sewn while hearing CPR. Yeesh. He spent a week in NICU and has never looked back, and I'm very thankful. My mother-in-law basically moved in with us for that first year. I actually never quite healed, so I wound up with a hysterectomy 9 months after giving birth. She was a godsend.
Okay.
So this mother-in-law is great. Even now, she makes sure to visit us regularly as she's retired.
She lives in Wisconsin? And you guys live in Michigan?
Yes. Yes. Okay. She makes sure to visit us regularly. She adores us and our son. My parents have retired in the last year. To be fair, they also have my grandpa turning 100 this August now living with them and 2 big dogs. But my dad's siblings will take care of my grandpa so my parents can come visit us if they wanted to. Granted, we try to get our little guy out to see his pop at least twice a year, as he's the only great-grandchild on my side, and he and my grandpa adore each other. There is nothing cuter than a tiny baby and a decrepit old man that looks like a worm. That's me, not the letter writer. But my parents always have an excuse why they can't come see us. My mom actually emailed me today to ask if she could come visit soon. I called her so we could coordinate dates. I offered a couple of dates in May, a couple weeks away, as my kid is in a tumbling class and they're having a little show on a Saturday. I said mother-in-law will be there, but I know kiddo would love you to be there too. She told me she needed to wait until June. Fair enough. But then told me how she and my dad were going to see my 38-year-old brother in a minor part of his community theater group this summer. And how my aunt...
How is that not what the question's about? Like getting your brother out of a
community theater? Having a minor role in community theater? Not even the lead.
He's an extra in Pippin. He's a peg leg in Pippin.
So my aunt will be there to watch Grandpa and the dogs would be boarded. I appreciate she wants to be supportive of my brother, but he is 38.
Yeah.
Now we're about to take a turn.
It's not that he's 38. It's that it's community theater.
Right.
It's a minor part. He's playing a tree stump in Godspell. Okay.
This is a turn, Eliza. He cannot have biological kids. He's a trans man, and I cannot have any more biological children. This is my one and only.
Okay.
I am yet again hurt by what seems like the lack of caring about my kid and being involved in his life. Growing up, my parents made sure we had time with both sets of grandparents, which was impressive as my mom's dad and stepmom were in Greece, but they don't seem to care as much about my kid. I send pictures. We do picture albums. Okay, in all fairness, I'm a year behind on those. We do digital picture frames where we could send new photos. Am I overthinking this? Am I stupid for constantly allowing my parents to disappoint me with not coming to see my kid? I need my big sister advice. Thanks for everything. Liz. P.S. Emily, we have 3 cats, and I love hearing the escapades of yours. Liz.
Okay, so I read this on the Patreon.
Yeah.
You omitted, she has a few times in there where she's like, okay, to be fair, it's not actually that. She wrote that more than once. If you look at that, there's parentheticals throughout that are like, okay, to be fair, it's not really that. And those are what kind of left me thinking that you might be overthinking this a little bit. So let's lay this all out. First question, did your brother become a man earlier in life when he was your sister? Was this child still getting it? Like, I'm wondering if your mom feels she needs to give him more attention.
100%
of that. There's that.
Yeah.
And that's fair. And that's, good for her. She may be doing it imperfectly, but that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, your brother wants to be treated like a regular person. And so, we do this disservice by doting on this. You're a 38-year-old grown fucking man. Okay.
We don't care about a grown man doing
anything.
I cannot flying to see a grown man's community theater.
Is your brother getting female privileges? Like, is he still being seen as the daughter or was she queer always? And your mom wants to protect this person. We need more info on that. What?
The piece
we don't have it.
The piece that stuck out to me, the reason I thought this was an interesting turn is when our question asker said, my brother's not going to have any kids biologically, and I can no longer have any biological kids. So this is it. And it's like,
this is it. Right.
Our question asker is very, very focused on they have to love, it's their only flesh and blood. Like, your brother could adopt kids. There could be more kids. The idea of this like kids. Highlander, like this is the only child. Don't worry about that part.
Don't worry about that. You're saying, like, I had a great upbringing with my grandparents. Like, where are you? Not all grandparents are cut out to be good grandparents. Some grandparents just sit and watch. Some are just busy with their lives. Your mom probably doesn't want to visit, to be honest, while the mother-in-law is there because she's always there and she's like, I want my chance. Mm-hmm. Your mom's got a lot going on. You also set up this email by saying how annoying your mom is. Mm-hmm. It is normal, though. It's still your mother. And what you want to show her is your baby. Like, you want all the perks that come along with having a kid. And that's having your mom around. But you did front load this by saying what a narcissist your mom is. And I think that you're seeing this narcissistic tendency play out in the way that she's focusing on the brother. You're basically saying, like, hey, you are focused on everything but me. And I think you're within your rights to have your mom want to come visit. So what's the question? Is it about am I overreacting?
And overthinking. You are overthinking, but that's
You are
okay.
overthinking it. Keep in mind, you're going to be so annoyed when she gets there. I don't see why, if you give her multiple options of when she could come, I also would get that mother-in-law out of there for that.
Yeah, let your mom have her own time.
Just give her a weekend. Just let her have it. She's not going to say it to you. Let her have it. Because if she does, it's going to come out ugly. Mm-hmm. And be like, here's some weekends. And then tell your husband, be like, let's not have your mom here. I want my mom to have a chance to bond with the kid and whatever. And if mother-in-law wants to come over for lunch, I'm sure it would be nice to see each other or something. But give your mom options. And if your mom takes none of those options, then you can take it to the next level.
How much can you do with a 3-year-old also? Like, I don't know. Can you hang out? Okay.
Yeah. Oh, it's so fun.
So grandma could come get this 3-year-old.
We just took Sierra for Korean food and coffee and the grocery store. And it was
oh my God, she's 3? Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. So grandma should be hanging out with this kid. What's her problem?
Yeah. So I think you're overthinking a little bit because I do think there's a little bit of jealousy. And you are saying your whole life, everything's been about your brother and doting on this brother. And it might have been that your brother needed a little bit more attention. And you might have found out that your mom is like, you were fine. And we had to manage your brother a little bit. You know,
welcome to my life.
Yeah. I mean, that's way different. You guys are twins. But yeah, I mean, but hey, you got that free car. Are we allowed to talk about this?
We can say that much and leave them wanting more.
All right, fine. So that's your brother may have gotten more attention, not so much because they're older, but because he needed it for whatever support or guidance.
Or your mom was worried about not seeming loving. And so she put so much energy there. And she's like, of course I love my grandkid. Like it's a baby.
After you give it those options, if it's still weird, you might have to come to Jesus. Because you're going to feel really bad if she's like, yeah, I had to spend a lot more time with your brother because we wanted to make sure that he was okay and he was getting what he needed. And she might be harsh on you because you're a girl and she sees herself in you. I think you're missing a real conversation here.
Okay. Quick, one more mom question. Hey, Liza, Emily, and Hot Scotty.
By the way, I love that you put this together. I think you should have announced at the front of the episode that this was a mom theme episode. And I think you should do that soundbite now and we can have them put it in.
The Motherlode.
That's got to be a porn term.
It's got to be, but I think of like gold.
No.
Because I'm thinking LODE, not LOAD.
Isn't it always LOAD?
Isn't LODE if it's like gold? Hold on, I'm Googling Motherlode.
Google that
LODE.
And then Google capital of Azerbaijan.
A Motherlode LODE is a principal vein of an ore or mineral.
Oh, okay. You know what? Color me corrected.
What a pod.
Learning all these things.
Hey, Liza, Emily, and Hot Scotty. We had our first son March of 2024 through IVF. I stopped listening to yours and every other podcast because I was just so overwhelmed and struggling, and now I'm catching back up.
Right.
Honestly, I wish I had continued listening to your podcast at the time. Now catching back up. I also had postpartum. Pumping made me wildly depressed. I would cry, hate myself, feel terribly low, and had feelings of despair and felt so incredibly alone. And none of my new mom friends understood, and it never clicked anyone's attention of those stupid copy form questionnaires they give you at the doctor's office. Man, I wish I heard your Let Them Eat Grapes episode back then. Now, I assume that's an episode where you talked about postpartum.
I also want to say the doctor makes you fill that out just to make sure you don't kill yourself in their office and they're not liable.
So they can't blame you.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares about mothers.
Anyway, my question. Our son was born via IVF with mine and my husband's own DNA. This is an important fact. My husband and I are darker featured. My heritage is Italian and my husband's is Japanese, European, and Scandinavian. But
so not dark at all.
Most people know him to be of Japanese descent, even though he looks mostly Caucasian.
Okay.
Here's what irks me, and I need your wit. Our own friends and his family, which makes it even more super
Emily's
cringe.
Fucking cat. For those of you just listening to this, not getting the visual experience. Anytime Emily makes that sound, she's not like getting off. It's a cat.
I'm scared a cat's gonna like stop the recording. Like a ghost.
Motherlode. Kill me. Okay.
Our own friend and his family, which makes it even more super cringe when it happens, and no, he's not around when this happens, makes comments about our son looking nothing like us, to the point of them saying to my 1-year-old's face, OMG, are you adopted? OMG, where did you come from? You look nothing like mommy or daddy. Oh, you look more like me than mommy or daddy. He's blonde and has piercing blue eyes and is pale, just like his late paternal grandfather. Eliza, I want to scream at the ignorance of these hurtful comments. As IVF parents, we worked incredibly hard to have our son and struggled with so many emotions along the way. It's no secret that he's an IVF baby to anyone in our lives. Please help validate my feelings and help me respond to something funny and witty other than my awkward laugh. No, he's ours and he's perfect. Completely stunned that this keeps happening to me. Thanks. Proud IVF mama. Did you ever think you'd hear me say the word mama?
Nope. Two things. One, if your child was conceived naturally, I wonder if this would bother you as much.
I don't think it would.
Yeah. So this is bothering you because the way you are taking it is because you did this through IVF, somehow the child isn't yours or isn't also partially your husband. But I do think it is normal for people of different ethnic backgrounds, if they have a kid and one looks more like the other parent, for people to analyze the kid. You know, And obviously if the kid's dark, you can't say anything because that comes off as racist. But like Ethan and Sierra have different coloring and we talk about it all the time. And it's weird because people will be like, oh, I see Noah, I see Eliza. And it's like, whatever. But it never occurred to me to get offended if someone was like, oh, he has your coloring. I'm not like, well, the father is in there. Noah's in there. It's also Noah's son.
But if they were like, it doesn't look like either of you, did you snatch this from a cradle?
I think, and I can't tell you, I'm not going to invalidate your feelings, but I think you are ascribing emotion to this that I don't think people mean. Because if you think about it, nobody would say that if they knew it would hurt you, but it's bothering you. So what you could say is like, yeah, we didn't pay for the upgrade where you get to pick the features. You just got the worst of both of us or something. You're being sensitive to it. You know, you can simply just be like, well, he's both of ours. So I don't know. Or just say nothing.
I do think it comes down to people think they're funny and they only have so many jokes to tell. And that's just like, oh, he doesn't look like, oh, is he the milkman's? Like, that's just a go-to stupid comment.
Because it sounds like you slept with someone else.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like. And the kicker is it's only because your child has blonde hair and blue eyes that they can make the joke. If the kid looked like anything else, it would come off as racist.
And weird.
If the kid looked fully Asian and you're not Asian and they said that, then it would look like they didn't like Asian people. That's just the way we've set up our society where you can't comment on anything that's not white. So people feel comfortable in the way that people say horrible things to me because I'm Jewish. And they're like, right? I'm like, it's because you think I'm white that you're just saying this in a way that you would never say it to any other minority. So that's annoying.
I can't say horrible things to blonde women. Who can I say them to?
Yourself, screaming at yourself when you're naked in the mirror.
That sounds really upsetting.
It's what most people do. I think it's also, I mean, some people may not even know what IVF is. But I do think with like, is it happening so much and so often? Like, it's weird to me that a friend would see your baby and then the next time they came over, they'd be like, here's my joke again.
Well, it sounds like both parents have dark hair and this baby is blonde. So everyone who sees the baby thinks they're the first one to be like, where'd that baby come from? A stork drop him off? But our question asker is offended because this is sensitive for her.
You're like, my husband's grandfather was fully Swedish. You're like, those Swedish genes are strong.
Yeah.
You know, like it's such a nothing comment, but what it is, it's sort of belittling your experience and
it's invalidating.
It's invalidating it. That's exactly right. And because you're a mother, it's like, did you sleep with someone else? Is this really your baby? It's just, that's tough. So you either have to, I think, unless you want to make them uncomfortable, you need to get to a place where you realize, I mean, people say ignorant things to me, to everyone all the time. And I think if you just say nothing, or if you're just like, well, he's our baby, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, if you want to make them uncomfortable, you can, but I don't think you do. His grandfather was Swedish. Or just go along with it. Doesn't look like it'd be like, isn't it crazy? Jake is Japanese and I'm Italian, but I guess Jake's grandfather was Swedish. Isn't that, we're amazed too. Because it is amazing. Especially with Asian genes, you can usually like see they usually have like Asian eyes. Like that's a strong feature. That's like a dominant feature.
I think you should just be like, oh no, will you help me in a lawsuit against the IVF company? I need to go send some emails.
Yeah, because they're making it like someone else's sperm got in there and you just paid for it. Yeah.
You just brought home a changeling. Well, they suck, but happy Mother's Day to you.
Yeah, happy Mother's Day to you. Yeah, only somehow blonde hair and blue eyes is like a bad thing.
Like, where'd this baby come from?
You could just be like, whatever your husband's name is, like, he actually looked just like this when he was born, and let them just reel with that. Or just be like, yeah, all Japanese kids are born like this. Haven't you read a book?
Stole this baby from a stroller. Please don't tell.
Be like, well, he's ours, so I guess I'll have to give them a one star on Yelp.
Put a little wig on the baby.
You either have to decide if you're gonna take out the charge from it or say something.
Mm-hmm.
Because do you really want to do that? Do you really want to say, like, that's actually incredibly offensive? My husband and I made this baby. Mm-hmm. The IVF of it all, I don't know why that always has to be, you should not be ashamed of it. But like, I mean, I didn't do IVF, but I have no problem being like, yeah, I took like a progesterone oil and then we did a round of shots and then I was able to have a baby. Like I have no shame around that, but there is something about IVF that there is a stigma attached to it, but people feel the need to share with everyone. And it kind of is no one's fucking business.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think people think IVF, it's another person's sperm. You could be like, wait, are you saying that because you think it's not so-and-so's sperm? And then they'll be like, they may not.
Right.
But if your good friends are saying this more than once, that's weird. If it's a good friend, you might have to just set the record straight.
Yeah.
You might have to just be like, I have to tell you, a lot of people make jokes like that. And it actually really bothers me. You don't have to say it's offensive because then it becomes about them. Like, I didn't mean to offend you. You can be like, it bothers me because it kind of makes it sound like it's not our child together. And then they'll be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean it that way. But then you'll never have to hear it from them again.
Yeah.
It's all about what you want to put up with.
All right. Wish the mothers well. We're going into Top of the Cob.
Fucking Swedish and Japanese. Yes. That's a stunning child.
I know it's going to be a hot baby. Hot adult, not a hot baby. Top of the Cob.
It's the top of the cob. We're doing it right every day. You just take a bite. Top of the cob.
She's like, please don't arrest me. All right. I made a list. I have a list.
I'm going to start with
I've got
fan.
a good one. Okay, fine.
Okay. This fan bottom is just so perfect because it's so simple. Okay, this was a real bottom today. Finding out that the disgusting combination of gray and beige is called grayish. I hate this so much.
Or is it
a
bae?
listener?
Paint it with bae. Bray.
Do you want me to do mine?
Sure.
Okay. Mine is okay. People who draw instead of drawer. Like I hate when people say it, but when people actually put it in writing. So instead of like a chest of drawers, they will write chest of draw. Open the draw. And when people's already, I don't like hearing it, but in writing, I'm like, there's more letters. You this isn't okay.
The stupidity that has enveloped our society down to grown adults whose existence predated the internet pronouncing it aesthetic. Since when does the TH make a sound? Like I was watching Shark Tank and he's like, it's a different aesthetic. I'm like, you need to stop scrolling through Instagrammers and influencers.
Right. You learned yeah.
It's like girls just decided like it's aesthetic. And I'm like, I'm sorry that you didn't have an education because you were busy making content, but that's insane. Aesthetically pleasing, aesthetic dentistry, aesthetic. Like, what are you talking about? We can't just like language is fluid, whatever, but like, it's not just a group of idiots decide something and then the rest of us just have to do it. Unlike bruschetta, which is correct, but I'm going to say bruschetta.
Yeah, because you're not an asshole.
That's right. That's right. Okay, I've got a really good bottom. Okay. I'm not going to do the one I wrote down, but I'll put it.
Oh my God. Okay.
I have a bunch of them.
Okay. Well, we gotta get through this. So do what you.
I'll save it. My bottom of the cob. Somehow, it's become a thing in a bathroom, restaurant bathroom, a public bathroom. There's 2 pumps by the sink, and one is lotion. You do not need to supply lotion ever, and it never needs to be in the same looking bottle next to the soap because it is such a waste. We've all done it where you go for the soap and you pump out and it's lotion and you're like, do I save this for 5 seconds from now after my hands are washed? You don't need to supply me lotion. Your hands are not getting that dried out. I can do it at home.
In public, yeah.
Any restaurant, I'm like, cool, now I've washed my hands with lotion and I'm too lazy to wash it off and use the soap. Thanks. We don't need lotion. And you know what I think it is? I think the soap companies, like it comes with it. They're like, well, we'll install this for free also. I just don't see why at a sushi restaurant, they're like, and here's some lotion. Especially you're eating. I don't want to be smelling it. But the amount of times I have grabbed the wrong pump and it's never labeled clearly.
That's pretty good.
People are driving and they're just like, yes, I'm too moisturized and know it.
Okay, Fan Top says, when you successfully use your thumbnail and middle fingernail as makeshift tweezers to pull out that 1 MF chin hair while driving.
Yeah.
Pulling out any single hair with your nails is very satisfying.
Sometimes if I have shorts, I can see a thigh hair that I never got to and I just go long. Okay.
My top is, okay, there's video when people are in Arctic places and they're in ice, water has frozen in such a way that when they go through it, it's a bunch of little poles. It's little tubes of ice that break apart very satisfyingly. Like instead
I know
of
what you're talking about.
It's like lines of
like shards.
that all kind of like come apart, and it's like those things where you can put your face in it, the nails. Do you know what I mean? It's like that, but it's ice.
I know exactly, and I know the video you're referencing. It's like a scoop of it.
Yeah, or like somebody with a kayak will like
Yes.
push through it. Oh, I love that ice. I need to go find that ice and touch it. It's my top.
Or if you want to come to my house, you can watch Frozen every night, alternating with Encanto.
I watched Finding Nemo today for specific reasons, but I was like, why are all these movies so sad at the beginning?
They have to be. They have to be. You know why? Actually, I learned this recently. You know how every Disney movie starts with like a parent dying, or most Pixar movies, whatever?
Yeah.
It's because it's the only fear that all children universally have.
That's so mean.
That's what it is. You gotta start
Nemo's
from that
mom,
place to build it up.
Bambi, that old lady in Up.
I find Dory annoying. Here's my top of the cup, and I'm going to be bummed out if I've said it before. So you remember how we talked about the soundbite of like fresh fruit, right? If you're not caught up on the pod from years ago, you might not get it. How Ludacris, and he has that soundbite where he's like, "I wanna lick you from your head to you," and then he's like, "Eating fresh fruit." And I just like the idea of like a hard
right off of the tree, right?
Fresh fruit. No, sweep your woman right off of her feet.
Why did I think he was eating the fruit off the tree? Oh well, okay, sorry.
What tree?
Continue. Eating fresh fruit right off of the tree was what it was in my mind, but that can't
fruit right off of the tree. No,
that's not
right.
Like
in the Garden of Eden.
Okay,
it's not like going down on you in a canopy. So I have another one.
Okay.
Remember Quad City DJs like, "Come on, ride the train and ride it choo choo. Come on, ride." So there's a part where the guy raps, right? And he's like, "Way deep downtown, no, we ride this train." He goes through the whole rap. And then at the end, he goes, "Move them all up and down and make that choo-choo sound like this." Just the idea of a grown man being like, "Make that choo-choo sound." Saying choo-choo in a rap has been in my head for the better part of the last few months, apropos of nothing. I wake up to, "And make that choo-choo sound. Move them all up and down and make that choo-choo sound like this." That's what we're working with here. I'm just a tax-paying voter.
Oh, boy.
Make that choo-choo sound. Folks, we will see you this weekend at the Brea Improv for my new show, Brunch of Moms. A Brunch of Moms. Come on out. Uber there. Get ready to get a little tipsy and go on home. Bring your partner. Come if you aren't a parent. Do whatever. Everyone's allowed. I want to get sued. Saying it here. Everybody's allowed. Everybody's welcome. But it is called A Brunch of Moms. And then I am taking a break. I'm going to be I guess I'll be back the next week. And hopefully by next week, I have some news that I can share with you about a movie.
Ooh, okay.
You already know it.
Okay.
In the meantime, keep those questions in. We got some new stuff coming up with the podcast that Emily doesn't even like when I announce, but we're going to be making some fun changes around here. But don't you worry, we'll still be delivering that red hot takes content every week, not skipping a beat, not having a guest host. We're here. And Emily's there. There's a fucking cat.